Hello friends, in the global power game, the one thing America carefully tried to avoid all these years has finally happened now. The combination that America feared the most is now forming. The very nations that America hoped would never come together are now aligning. NATO chief, who was Trump's loudest cheerleader, the same guy who said Trump is the daddy, the big daddy, has now poured boiling oil under Trump's feet with just one reckless statement. We will tell you what he said, but first look at the consequences of his words. India, China, and Russia are taking steps to revive the Trilateral Alliance against NATO, against America and its allies. After nearly 2 decades, they have sent signals of a fresh rebellion. They have announced a plan to unveil a Eurasian power structure. So, what are those NATO chiefs' words that are making Trump to pay? Will the RIC grouping, Russia, India, China grouping, the RIC set fire on American interests? And why has India taken such a bold step after 17 long years of gap? What happens if India, China and Russia join hands? Let's explore all this major global development in today's video. NATO threatens India. They say even if monkey stays quiet, its tail doesn't. Same way, when United States President Donald Trump just started to stay quiet or trying to stay quiet, his NATO chief Mark Rutte has left his tongue to blabber. Last week, Rutte made a statement so aggressive it has created a new East-West rivalry. In an attempt to impress Trump, he tried to threaten India, Russia, Brazil, and so many other countries. Here is what he said. If you are the president of China, or Prime Minister of India, or President of Brazil, and you are buying oil and gas from Russia, let me warn you. This man, he meant Putin, is not serious about peace. I will impose 100% secondary tariffs on you. Now, who is this I that is he is talking about? Rutte isn't the head of any country. He cannot impose any tariff being chief of NATO. So, was he speaking on behalf of European Union or was he talking on behalf of his daddy Trump? No one knows. But overall, he said, I will impose secondary tariffs on India, on China, on Brazil. As if he personally has that authority, he was blabbering. He even added, you don't yet realize how tariffs will hit you. You will find out in time. Until then, you should pressure Russia and bring it to peace talks, or you should be ready to face serious consequences. This was clearly a direct threat to the leaders of India, China and Brazil, 3 of the important sovereign nations in the world. And right after this threat, India made a powerful rebuttal through an announcement. It revived the idea of the RIC, Russia, India, China grouping. After 17 years, India breathed new life back into this dangerous trio, dangerous to America and its friends. Just after India brought up the name RIC, America started showing signs of panic. Within just 2 days, the United States issued a statement condemning the Pahalgam terror attack. And just recently, President Trump, who was hosting Pakistan Army Chief Asim Munir with grand lunch session, suddenly declared TRF, the Resistance Front, a terrorist organization, a proxy to Lashkar-e-Taiba, a terrorist organization, a global terrorist organization. America declared it. This show the RIC move is already shaking America. The trio has spoken. As soon as the NATO chief stirred the pot, India, Russia and China began efforts to revive the RIC alliance. India's foreign ministry officially said this would be a good platform to discuss both regional and global issues. It also added that since Russia and China have shown interest, India will soon inform them a suitable date and venue for the RIC meeting. That means trilateral talks are back on. This is a major announcement. India has said clearly, we want to bring the world's three top powers together. China and Russia have also responded positively. That is even more important. China's foreign ministry spokesperson Lin Jian said the RIC grouping will not just promote the interests of the three countries, it will also uphold regional and global peace, stability, and development. China is open to discussing the RIC alliance, he said, giving a welcoming note to India's signals. On the Russian side, Deputy Foreign Minister Andrew Rudenko said, whenever we hold bilateral talks, the RIC topic keeps coming up again and again. We are keen to revive and strengthen the RIC framework. All three of us are important global partners, Russia said. So with just one breath, the three nations have revived a dream that had been buried for decades. The 90s fire, rise and fall of RIC. The RIC is not a new concept. This spark was lit back in the 1990s as a counter to America's arrogance. In 1998, Russia's then Prime Minister Evgeny Primakov laid the foundation for the RIC. He said that a coalition like RIC was necessary to challenge the dominance of Western powers, especially the United States. By 2000, discussions gained momentum. In 2002, the first ever RIC meeting was held on the sidelines of the United Nations General Assembly. Later, foreign ministers from India, Russia, and China met in Vladivostok, Russia. They stated that RIC's key goals were break America's unipolar dominance, support a multipolar world, and cooperate in security, anti-terrorism, energy, and economic growth. In the next 10 years, over 20 RIC meetings took place. RIC reached its peak around 2007. Security summits were held in India as well. Meetings were hosted in Bengaluru, Delhi, Moscow, and China. This momentum continued till about 2012. But after 2012, the things began to change. Tensions between India and China increased after Xi Jinping came to power in China. As a result, RIC started weakening. In 2020, the Galwan clash between India and China occurred that practically collapsed the RIC structure. After that, India shifted its focus towards Indo-Pacific and Quad Alliance. Then Russia got heavily involved in the Ukraine war. Due to these reasons, RIC slowly faded into the background. However, it was never officially disbanded. Now India has shown interest or given signals to reignite the RIC platform immediately after NATO's warning. The global shift. Friends, when these three nations come together, it is nothing short of a giant alliance. Let's look at the numbers. Russia, $2.7 trillion of GDP, 11th in global rankings, 1.5% projected growth for 2025. China, $19.23 trillion of GDP, second in the world, manufacturing giant, maintaining 5.2% of growth rate. India, $4.3 trillion of GDP, ranked 4th globally, world's fastest growing large economy. Current growth rate is 6.3 to 6.8%, aiming for 7% of growth rate. Together, these three nations contribute 31.6% to the global GDP, and that's not all. Now look at military power. Russia ranked 2nd in the world, China ranked 3rd in the world, India ranked 4th. That means number 2, 3 and 4 are together if this RIC works well. And if you look at military spending, China spends $230 billion, Russia $109 billion, India $81 billion per annum. If these three powers join hands, it creates a massive counterweight to Western alliances, especially NATO. If you look at BRICS, it includes countries from all over the world. Brazil from South America, South Africa from Africa, Russia, India, China, and so many new countries also joining BRICS, and it is getting cluttered. It doesn't represent any single geography. But RIC is clearly about Asian powers uniting to balance the Western bloc. This could act as a platform to challenge the Western narrative. Even mentioning the RIC name seems to be enough to soften America's behavior, and we are already seeing signs of that. As I mentioned earlier in the report, immediately after India's RIC signaling, US came forward and condemned Pahalgam attack. They not only condemned it, they also declared TRF, the Resistance Front, which is a proxy to LET Lashkar-e-Taiba, as a global terrorist organization. Yes, of course, maybe it is not a decision to take in a hurry within 24 to 48 hours. Maybe it was in the works. But look at the timing. Immediately after India's RIC statement, America came forward and tried to woo India. That's what makes it very interesting. So friends, what do you think about all these developments? Share your opinion on the comment section below. And if you like this video, please don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Keep looking for better. Let's meet again. Namaste.